Hello again, and welcome to the Adobe XD Essential Training Episode 5. On the last episode, we talked about the Properties panel. Now, you already mastering the Properties panel. It's time for you to learn about components. So, what is components? Components is a useful feature that XD have to increase our productivity as the designers. It is a common best practice to convert commonly used items in a project into a symbol. That way they can be reused whenever you need them. So it's basically a create once, use many. Alright, before you start, please download the asset files that I provided on the description below. In XD, there are two types of components. The first is local components, which is attached to a document like an XD file, and have link component, which we'll get into later, but they are attached to external files. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to see these components that I created. If you see the card right here on the layer panel, you will see diamond icon, and there are two versions of it. Actually, the two of it is a local component that I mentioned before. One with solid gray color, and for the other one, there's this dot here. So actually, the solid color is the master, and this dot here is the slave. So the slave will follow exactly as the master components have, except this is important. Be sure to take a note on this. So the slave will not follow the master certain element if the certain elements on the slave is changed. I repeat, the slave will not follow the master's certain element if the certain element on the slave is changed. This is for example. If I go right here, this is the slave component, right? I will clear that. I will take this onto this side. I will copy this. So copying it will always create a slave and move to the below. So if I were to change the component right here, oops, I think I got it wrong. Let me just replace it. Okay. Alright, so the top one is the master and the below is the slave, right? If I were to change any text on the master, it will follow, the slave will follow the master as well. For this radius also, if you were to change the 100 radius, it will follow exactly as the master have. You see? But this is important. I repeat, the slave will not follow the master's certain element if the certain element on the slave is changed. So whenever you do a change on the slave elements, it will not follow anymore. So if I were going to change this to Elmoa, see here, if I were to change the master again into the Lauren, you see it is not changed. But if I were going to change the element that are not changed in the slave will follow exactly as the master element have. You see? I can also change this background to white. If I were going to change the background on here to black, it will not follow the slave. Alright? So, how to make a component? To make a component, select element that you want to change to a component. For example, this card right here, this is a plans card. You can right click on it and make a component. You see? Also, there's keyboard command K for Windows, or I mean Mac, and or Control K for Windows. So if you notice, if I'm going to make it component, you notice the icon change to a diamond, which tell me it is a master component. Little tips just for you: if you like your library asset here to be neat on this document asset here, actually you can rename this group first before you create a component. For example, this is the plans card, right? So I will undo the component and I rename it first plans card and create the component. You will see that the plans card component is created on the document assets. This is your library. So the reason why you should do this is, for example, if I undo the component, you will see the group here is unnamed, right? And we create a component without renaming it first. So I create a component. And there you will see random generated name for your component. Then of course you can rename this to the plans card. But this is important. But on the library panel, the component's not going to change the name. So you have to rename it again. Plans card. But again, this is tips for you who likes their library assets neat. If not, then you can ignore these tips. And for the next one, I will be explaining of this states component right here. This is a little advanced tools for component, but totally increase your quality as a designer. How? Because this is a great impact for your prototyping. You see, if I preview this page, you will see if I click this Note tab right here, it will change to Tab Note. And of course, Details will change to Detail tab. Also back to the default one. In our old times, we have to create like 3 pages of this same exact content with different tab if we're going to prototype these tabs right here. And I believe in Figma, other design tools, they are still do the old times way because they are still have not developed the states function like Adobe XD have. Because again, Figma has its own advantage, disadvantages like Adobe XD have. So at the end of the day, it will coming back to the designers itself, not the tools. Okay, that's all from me. Stay tuned for the next episode. I will be talking about states function. So if you don't already subscribe to this channel, make sure to click the subscribe button and the notification icon, so you will get notified when the new important episode is coming. Hope you're enjoying your weeks, and I'll be talking to you soon on the next one.